welcome back to the channel, everyone. Before we get into anything, let me first apologize to all my subscribers and followers and commenters. It has been a hot minute since I've been able to put out my next video. We've had some things here at the homestead that has required my 100% attention. That means no boating, no fishing, no kayaking, nothing. Without getting into too much detail, my wife is now going through her second breast cancer diagnosis, and my eldest son Alex and his beautiful other have decided to get back on the road for another RV across the U.S. adventure. And we spent a great deal of time on their new to them but used 2006 Forest River Cardinal fifth wheel RV, doing some remodeling, repairing, and adding solar. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, I am Tony, aka Tiger Pops, and this is your home for actionable intel, information you can actually use. Now, it's been a hot minute since I've been able to put out my follow-up video to the cost-effective rods and reels video that I posted. There's been some issues here at the homestead, along with some COVID things that have been able to thwart me in my fishing pursuit, including Indiana weather. The two trips that I have been on to West Boggs Lake and down in Nashville, Indiana, they were 5-day trips, each one of them, and it rained 4 out of the 5 days, leaving me very little time to actually get on the water, do any fishing, capture any video. I do have a little bit from the time that I was on the water at both locations that I'll put in here somewhere along the way. Out here on West Boggs, finally rocked a nice pound and a half spot right here. What a beautiful fish. Finally on the board, and the skunk is out of the boat. Yeah, it is. There he is. Got it. All right. Stay on. Stay on. All right, here we go. All right, easy, easy. All right, stay down, stay down, stay down, there we go, stay down. Oh yeah, he got the frog. Oh, come on, big boy, there we go. All right, well, just as I was saying, I was wondering about this color. This guy came along and gave me some love. All right, there we go. Nice bass. I'll take her. That's a good pounder. Yeah. All right, back on the board here. Oh, we got one on the frog here. Easy, easy. Here we go. All right, easy. Come on, big fella. Come on, big fella. There we go. All right. Bring it on up. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Hold on. Hey. All right. Another one on the frog this morning. That's beautiful. Been a slow roll, but come on, babe. Get out there. Nice to know that I had you hooked. There we go. Nice little largie. Okay, I'll take him all day. I'm catching these beautiful 8 to 10 inch black crappie out here at West Boggs. That's a pretty fish. But that being said, this is the follow-up video to the cost-effective rods and reels. It's what we put on the end of those rods and reels. The baits, the lures. I'll be upfront in saying that I am not a proponent of spending the big dollar, high-priced options out there. What I have found by doing a lot of research is there are, I don't know if I want to say off brands or not as widely known brands, or ones that just, you know by name: Strike King, Lucky Strike, Pradco, Ozark Trail, KBD, that all, while having brand names, are still cost effective in a lot of their lure selections, and they catch just as many fish and give you just as many opportunity to catch those fish as the high ticket, high dollar, big ticket items. So what I'm going to say and share with you here today, that everything that I have on the table today in all my tackle boxes, from my top water to my spinner baits, chatter baits, to my jigs, to my square bills, my lipless, my cranks, my jerks, everything in these boxes are under $7 each. I know. But I will also say that I do have a handful of name brand, high dollar, to me anyway, top water stuff, and I do have a couple of spinner baits or chatters that are above that $7 mark. But everything else I'm going to share with you today is going to be cost-effective baits and lures. And since the last video started off with the ultralights and the spinning combos, I think it's just apropos that we start there with this. Now, for those ultralights, what we had back in the day, which were just, you know, Zebco 202s or the Premiers and a 5-foot rod, were the curly tail grub and the doll fly. There's been a lot of advances since those days, not to mention I will still go back to a curly tail grub and a doll fly if they're not hitting what I'm throwing. But coming up with that, where I don't, and I'll preface that by saying this, where I don't scrimp on the money are my soft plastics. So I'll set up a snapshot here of a box of soft plastics that I have on the table, but let's start with the ultralights and spinning reel combos. For the panfish, whether it be crappie, bluegill, perch, whatever, you cannot beat, and I'm not sponsored by these guys in any way, shape, or form, Bobby Garland. Bobby Garland soft plastics are, bar none, the best on the market. Okay, they do cost you a little bit more, but man, they catch everything under the sun. With that being said, a cost-effective option I found is this box of 100 pieces of tube baits with skirts, crappie jigs, or panfish jigs, because everything will hit them. Made by Runkle, RNCL, off Amazon. This entire box of the 100 of these baits, $9.99. That's cost effective. All right. So that's the small stuff. And I've got a handful of little, like, cricket hoppers, you know, from Lucky Strike, and, you know, a handful of other things. But moving away from that, and now we're into the spinning combos and the bait casters and what we're throwing on that. So let's start with, since we were on jigs there, we'll move to jigs here. This jig box that I have here, everything I have in here is not really high dollar stuff. This football jig and pumpkin, You can't tell it from Guggen Squad or anybody else. $2.99. And I have it in black and blue. I have it in pumpkin. I've got it in black and red. I've got it in green sparkle. I've got it in chartreuse and orange. This is cost effective. The Ned Rigs that I have here, again, these aren't the name brand Ned Rigs, right? And heads. Everything under $7. This box specifically, most of these are $3. Okay, so very cost effective in the jig realm. Follow that up with, say, these crankbaits. These guys are Ozark Trail, like this is a favorite one of mine. Single knocker, floating jerkbait, Ozark Trail U1, single rattle, submerses probably a foot under the water, floater, great. Secondary on that, this is a Lucky Strike model. If I can get it off of the crick hopper. There we go. So that's a little $1.99 crick hopper, right? Great for panfish. But here's another little jerkbait that I use that have caught me a lot of fish on that. This one is a little 4 rattle right here. Again, it's a floating jerkbait. Drops about 8 inches to a foot underwater, and it is awesome. So like I said, I've got a number of, I don't want to say no name, but I've got a number of very cost-effective jerk baits. In the jerk baits, every one of these, in this case, under $6, right? Here's another example. Let's move to spinnerbaits. Spinnerbaits, chatterbaits. Now, this is a KVD pumpkin chatterbait, and I think I got that for, I don't know, probably $3 or $4 at Dick's. Now let's talk about where I'm finding a lot of these cost-effective options. Dick's, Amazon, and Walmart. I'm probably not telling you anything that you don't already know, but Walmart has a ridiculous selection of baits and lures, soft plastics, spinner baits, crankbaits, everything they've got. Now, the most expensive thing that I've got here in the chatterbait is I stuck it out and got the jackhammer in black and red. I only use it in very specific situations and environments. I don't want to lose it. We all know that if you throw these guys in certain areas, you're going to lose them. But as far as the spinnerbaits, white in a double willow leaf, under $3. Black in a willow leaf Colorado blade, that one right there, $3.50. So everything that I'm showing here and all my gear, again, we're talking about under $7 a lure. Let's move to my cranks and lipless. This is an Ozark Trail lipless. Wonderful thing. Caught a lot of fish on that. Everything else in here. This is another one of the Ozark Trail in red craw. Square bills. Now, this is a KVD. I love this thing. Square bill. Lots of fish. Everything in here, again, under $7. Under $7 each. A lot of them you can go and you can find on sale. Walmart, $2.50, $2.99. These are great, cost-effective options that if I break off, I'm not crying about it. My deep dive crankbaits. Again, everything under here, under $7 each. A lot of them in that $2.50 to $3.50 range. So getting back over to, say, the top waters. Now, in my top water case, I've got some known brands in here that everybody will recognize. The Jitterbug. So that's a known brand, but these Jitterbugs have been around so forever. you can get them at anywhere for less money. This is a bait from 6 Cents. This is the electric chicken. It is also a floating kind of jerk bait, but it's lipless. That guy right there, and I put a red hook on the front. This has caught a crap ton of bass. The other name brand ones that I have in here are the Hedon Spook and Spook Juniors and Chug. Also 6 Cents in bone walking bait. And I do have name brand Whopper Ploppers. Okay, and I've got them in the 70 and the 90. And everything else in here, though, as far as, you know, other, you know, chug plug type things, single rattles, I got a case of those. I got 10 of those for $7.99 on Amazon. My frog selections, everything from a chug frog to V frogs in a bluegill pattern with a black back and a white chug frog. All my frogs and every one of these other top water baits in here, again, under $7. And a lot of these frogs come in a pack of 5, and they're also by Runkle on Amazon. And they normally come in a box like this, and you get 5 in your box, $7.99. So that's 5 frogs, $7.99, makes them what? $1.50 each, and you can't go wrong there. That is all my baits. And again, everything in here under $7. A lot of them are $2.50 to $3.50, depending on where you go. I implore you and to seek out those cost-effective baits. They're just as good as the name brands, and it's not that big a deal if you break off with them. You know, it doesn't hurt the wallet as bad. So again, where I don't scrimp are my soft plastics. I mean, you really gotta fight your battles where you can fight your battles. And so, you know, missile baits, Reaction Innovations, Yum, Debug, Z-Man, you know, what else we got? Power baits. I mean, Strike King's Rage Tail. That's where I don't scrimp. I don't scrimp on my soft plastics. I don't scrimp on my line, and I don't scrimp on my terminal tackle, hooks and so on and so forth. But as far as the actual baits we're putting on the end of our lines in lures, man, that's where I do my due diligence, and I look out. If I find a bait in a big name brand with a big price tag on it, I go looking for that. You want to call it aftermarket, let's call it aftermarket. You want to call them knockoffs, that's fine too. But they sure do help my wallet. They give me the option to purchase more, test more, fish more with the same money. If I can get 2 or 3 lures at the same money that it would take me to buy one, that just doesn't make sense, right? I gotta have more bang for my buck when it comes to fishing. If you're like me, which I know a lot of you are, we don't have a lot of money to burn, not a lot of expendable cash, but we still want to fish, we still want to get on the water, we still want to have quality products in both our rods and our reels and in our baits and lures, right? Right. So I think I'm going to wrap it up with that, make this video kind of short in that respect, but I wanted to touch base on what I have, where I get it, how it stacks up. But now if you've got any questions about any of the baits and lures that I have here that I've shown you, because if I walk through each and every one of these and I break it down to this is a Lucky Strike, this is a KVD, this is an OR Trail, this is a Pradco, whatever the case may be, I could be here for days. But if you have something that struck your interest, that you liked and you saw and you want to know what it is and where I got it, let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to hit you back and let you know. Coming up, we've got a trip to Hardin Ridge, which is southern Indiana. on just off of Monroe Reservoir, Monroe Lake. That's coming up at the end of this month. That's going to be a 6-day trip, and taking the bass boat, putting it on Monroe, hopefully to get a lot of footage, a lot of bass being caught. And we're going to follow that up with a kayak trip over 4th of July, the end of June, over the 4th of July at Chain of Lakes. Now that's going to be a lot of places that, one, that I've never been before, but we're going to put our kayaks on that, and we're going to get after it. Whatever we can get down there, we're going to get. So stay tuned for those 2 videos coming up, and I think that'll do it. At the end of the day, you know what to do. You put a hook in it.